この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I am here for Dungeon Meshi episode 23. Sad that we're getting so close to the end, but I'm glad that we're here to savor these last few bits. Last episode was a whole bunch of fun, and I'm going to draw something directly from it, and we're going to turn our attention directly to the drawing portion. So let's do that. Like maybe it should have a burst of lightning behind it and also a background. If I do a background, then I don't have to figure out a bad color for the wing portions, and I can just leave them white if I'm smart enough and have them pop off of a background if I draw in a color. Okay, we'll see how that goes. That's pretty fucking sick. That's actually pretty cool. Huh. Skyfish! Well, that's really fun. I really wanted to focus on trying to make the wing things look smeary, and I don't know how well I succeeded. They were okay in my mind when they were pencil, but the truth is that I don't know how to do it. I think I need to do it more. I think I need to do a lot more of that. So I might spend some time working on schmears, because I see them all the time on arbitrary objects, and there are different animators who have dramatically different styles of how they warp things when they're in motion. In this case, they're flapping wings that are going like blah, 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 blah. So I thought that if I put like a wing, and then I made things that sort of combine them together, that would kind of do it. And it kind of does, but it also kind of doesn't. I need to go and like find some examples of smears and figure out how to distort objects to pretend like they're moving really fast. I need to do hands. I need to do wings. I need to do like a propeller on a plane or something like that. I need to practice smears. Well, I'll get to that. I will say, I really like this drawing. I like how it kind of produces layers. There's like the layer of the speedline stuff in the background. By the way, fuck, speedlines are complicated. I know that they're a lot easier when they're done the traditional way, but I'm just scribbling it on paper, and I've got to just make lines that are all in line with one another. I figure if I had digital tools and I could just stretch stuff, that would be way easier. But still, whoa, there were decades where people drew and painted their speed lines. That's interesting. And then the lightning actually does kind of pop. I wish that there was more white in it, that it was a little bit lighter, but I didn't want it to like obfuscate where the wing things were. And then the wing things really pop out, having left them behind and created darkness all around them. They work sort of like negative space and they just like pop. Sweet. So I really like the color and the like levels, I guess level high white, level darker stuff in the background, stuff like that. I really like that. I really like how this overall feels, and I really love Skyfish. I think Skyfish is the most fun, like silly introduction of a thing that we've had in Dungeon Meshi. I hope that Skyfish returns in some form or another. But I don't know. I really like Skyfish. I really like the little magical peeps as well. I thought the last episode was really fun on that front. Well, besides being full of fun ideas, last episode was also full of some incredible animation around both Skyfish and the little dragon peep thing going after Senshi and trying to rescue him. And the episode was filled up with the beginnings of a mystery. Senshi's not acting like himself. He's acting scared. He's acting sad, depressed, like he's come up against something that reminds him deeply of some past traumas. And over the course of the episode, we realize that our characters don't really know each other that well. And so they have resolved to change that, to introduce themselves once more, and to ask the pressing questions. Who are you actually? What is your deal? And if we're going to be friends, what do you want? And how do we incorporate our wants together? How do we know you if you don't tell us about yourself? So Senshi's about to open up and tell us the story of Senshi. And I'm excited for this because he's a bit of a mystery. I kind of glazed over it the first and even the second time that evidence emerged that Senshi has been down here longer than he should have been. Partly because it's in the first episode when it says when the thing happened, and I just wasn't clear on the timelines and stuff, but he and his squad of dwarven treasure hunters found this place without entering it from the entrance that everybody else has now been using. They found it before Delgal reached the surface and began to do what? What happened to Senshi's party? We know that he was ostracized and pushed out of dwarven culture, or at least some group of dwarves, because of his lack of dwarfiness. But he when we see him in the past, he's young. He doesn't have his adamant pot. He doesn't have the knife that he's gotten now. So how does all of that come in? There's a lot of story here, a lot of years of Senshi's life to live through. I'm really excited to see how we approach this. I wouldn't be surprised if our tone is dramatically different for this, because we're going into somebody's memory and into the past through their mind. I'd like to see this from Senshi's perspective. I'm curious what we'll do. I'm excited because I trust Dungeon Meshi to handle this, whatever it is, with care. And I'm really interested in seeing what forges Senshi into the person that he is. Because ideologically, the way that he thinks, I agree with a lot, like in a lot of ways. And I'm really curious how he came to those conclusions about how he should live, about how life in this place really works. Yeah, I'm curious what led him to those conclusions and what I can conclude from them in turn. All right, with the drawing done and everything prepped, let's go ahead and watch episode 23 of Dungeon Meshi and find out the story of Senshi. Oh wow, this episode is 28 minutes long. It's got an extra few minutes on it. I'm going to have to custom edit my little timer thing because it only goes up to 27 minutes. Anytime I watch a show that's longer than that, I have to like edit it all together and make a longer thing. Cool. I'm excited. Dungeon Meshi episode 23. Thank you for joining me. There will be two versions, picture in picture in the description, timer on YouTube, early access on the Patreon. Subscribe while you're down there, and a beep beep timer to count you down. Let's go. Why am I so bright? Eh. Oh, it's because the window's open. That's fine. Woo! Golden City. Okay, so we're directly in perspective. Uh-huh. Pondemonena. Hey, maybe we shouldn't fuck around with this crazy shit. Preparation. Are you really a dwarf? Of course. Right. Hmm. Hmm. Whoa, it's like a curse has grabbed them, yeah. A bird monster. This is why he hates griffins. Yeah, eyes no longer glowing. Oh, fuck. And it moves, it shifts. It wants you in here, doesn't it? Okay, fair. Ha. A dwarf woman in the shadows. What's up with that? That looked a lot like the frame of the dryad. Hope they don't eat their horse. Chill. You stay here and be useless. But mapping is not useless. But he's been left behind. Was that the shield? I didn't catch it. I didn't clock it. They leave and they return with another dead. Oh, that's his helmet, isn't it? Yeah. That is the shield, isn't it? Just the three of us. Yeah. Oh, fun. Anne's the horse. Anne! Oh, he's soft on him. Reminds you of Dan to Dan. But he heard that. Now shame sets in. It was already there, but... He was gonna eat a rock, dude! They're gonna kill each other. I think they're gonna kill each other. Oh, he's losing it. Which one comes back? Oh, why? And the helmet is damaged now? The griffin isn't out there, though. Is he gonna cook his friend? Is that dwarf meat? I don't think so, man. How about maybe not? I don't think you killed a griffin, dude. Oh, it makes it so much worse. He's gonna die. I'm pretty sure he's gonna fucking die. Yeah. Left alone, having just eaten your last meal of your homie, I think. Oh, God. Just got all the stuff. Oh, whoa. Cleaners? Yeah. So he started there, learned from the orcs, and built himself up from nothing. He made it out and returned. Other people started coming through and it became more. So the X is him pounding it back out and fixing it? Yeah. He needs to eat griffin meat to know. Because it's dwarf, dude. It's terrifying to know. We gotta cook up some griffin, dude. Senshi, you poor bastard. Yeah, let's eat it. I mean, we'll find out once and for all. At least we can put the trauma away. At least you're not wondering. No, dude, no. I'm with you. I'm with you, Laios. Let's do it. Hmm. ERP, dude. Yeah. Exposure and response prevention. Let's go. Therapy. Yep. 100% he just wants to look at it. I would want to eat it. Yeah. Oh. Hmm. It's because they fought. I was thinking maybe one of them killed the others. Oh, fuck. There are rocks. That's a big bird. Mushrooms. Yeah, are those good mushrooms? Are those the ones that he pointed to being like, oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Yes, it will. Let's go. I love the attitude. All right, a little bit of salt in the meats. Cook them up. Upper and lower. It looks pretty different. Shit. Homie meat. Unless there's a rug pull here. Oh! Nani? Oh! Was it following them to fuck the horse? It was a girl! It was a girl horse! And... Whoa, really? Okay? But is he making this up just to please Senshi? Maybe that's the... Oh, nope, never mind. Let's go get one! Huh? Oh, okay. I thought you meant right here? What do you mean? Hey? Huh? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, they get swapped and then they become monsters. They wake up. Yeah. For sure. Great ancient lore stuff, but they're monsters. Oh. Oh. It's actually a transformed hippogriff? What the what? And it transforms into A5 Wagyu. Oh. And that's gonna be what it gotta taste like what Sanji said. It looks more like it. Could it be? No, it is the flavor. This is relief. Oh. Oh. Family lost, family found. Mm. That's right. But also, it seems to guide you toward that thing and then test you. I love the reaffirmation of our teamwork. Let's go. Mochiron. And. Oh, fuck! Yo, what is this gonna do? What is this gonna do? Are they gonna be transformed? Falling! What happened to your clothes? Oh, he's a little guy. Oh shit, is he a dwarf? Have they all race swapped? Uh, Senshi's a human. Human? Elf? Something like that. Is Chilchuck a big dude? Big human! Chilchuck-san? Beautiful, Senshi. This is even funnier than the Transformo one. Oh, he's an elf. Okay. Uh huh. Uh huh. What? Yeah. How do we deal? Please stop shimmering. It might just make it worse. Fuck. Well, glad we get to meet our new party. We're gonna be with them for a long time. Oh, their gear. I mean, he can't stop sparkling. Oh, did they all switch gear? Because he's a dwarf. He's stronger. Arigato. Oh, oh. How does Chilchuck feel about being tall? And they all switch clothes? Whoa. Oh. Hmm. 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 Yeah. Thank you, Timmy. Graceful as an elf. Beautiful, shining. Oh, fuck. We made it further than we wanted to. As soon as you look for something, the dungeon bares its fangs. Oh? Oh my god, don't just touch stuff. Holy shit. Holy shit, man. I wonder who was down here. Why don't we just stay the way we are? I like it. Senshi has said nothing. Oh, that's some magic stuff, man. That's some magic stuff. Huh? Whoa. Whoa. Is Kensuke the key? Kensuke's alive! Kensuke can be the key! We did get Kensuke from somebody like him. Thank Kensuke! He did the work. Gargoyle. That was cool looking. Striking them will only end up hurting you? Wait, what? No, you're tall now. You're not nobody now. Welcome to being like Laios. This getting to understand each other is... fuck. Less magic? She's mana sick. Yeah, her body's not built for this. What? What? Oh, shit. Like the kobold that we've seen before. I'll just stand here and be chill. You got it, Laios. Can't reach them? Oh, even worse. Maybe help from the other side? Oh, okay. Good puppy! And now we're good and trapped. Ain't nobody been down here before. And we have no way to reset our damn bodies. Welcome to the steampunk level. Oh, I love how they get to see each other more. I love him being all sparkly and shit, but God, he is annoying. Okay, yummy. Making dumplings? Dumplings. Oh, With all the hair in it. All the fucking hair. You just can't get away from it. Mmm. This is so weird. Ooh. Oh, I don't know. Dumplings are good. Insides, outsides? Oh, no, okay. Different ingredients, but still a dumpling. I wonder how long we're gonna be stuck like this. This is why the elves want this. That's why the elves want this. Because it's dangerous tech. Hmm. The dumpling thing all turns into this. You're an elf. And only a half elf as far as we can tell. Thanks, bud. Is that Fiend? And that's the end of the episode. That was really crazy. This is a very unique episode for the whole flow of Dungeon Meshi. I think my favorite thing about it is how the transformation forces them to see from each other's perspective through over the course of the episode. I think that's really cool. I think Senshi's backstory um is good and solid and fascinating and horrifying. I didn't expect it to necessarily be woven in with this particular type of trauma. Oh man, it goes darker than I thought it would, and still I don't have like a total understanding or explanation of exactly how it happened. My mind jumps to he killed that homie and then fucking brought him the meat of it, but it seems like no, it was in fact a hippogriff, not a griffin. Fought them, was transformed into a griffin by the fairy circle, right? I think. Which is why it kicked backward in order to like attack. That part doesn't really matter. What does matter is that back then it was a hippogriff, and then when he emerged, everything had been taken away, probably by dungeon cleaners, which he didn't know about at that point. The interactions and relationships between Senshi and the rest of the party are such a crystal clear picture of like growing up and developing shame for not being like everybody else, developing a sense of guilt and shame for not matching up to everybody, and a feeling of like being young and having other people support you and sacrifice in order to protect you, and this desire or feeling like you should be a part of that and they shouldn't be harming themselves for you. I think this is something that lots of children go through with their parents. I've gone through it to an extent, but when I think about this, I think about a friend, a really solid friend that I had in college whose background was Korean. He was a first gen immigrant, and he would talk about his own motivation for life, and it all always folded back into a sense of like a need to repay his mother for working so hard to give him a life in the United States. It always came back to that. And at the core, at the root of it was a feeling that's different from this because it's human and real world and stuff. But at core is this feeling of like, I don't want to let other people sacrifice to make my life better. That makes me feel guilty for needing. Yeah. And we can unpack that in isolation because like you shouldn't feel guilty for having needs. You are a human being. The first thing that human beings do when they're born as babies is cry out for help. It is part of what we are. We are social creatures. We need each other. And yet it's pervasive, this feeling like you need to do more in order to equal up to or match up the sacrifices that other people have made. And having that internal calculus is like valuable. It's evolutionary. Our ability to interact inside of a society depends in some sense on our understanding of like favors and trades and reciprocity. But I think that it's a destructive state of emotion to be feeling like you're not worthwhile because you've been in need and then like either throwing yourself into something before you're ready and sacrificing too much of yourself, which then means that the sacrifices that everybody else has made to build you up as a child have been for naught because then you throw that away sort of, or retreating and just becoming ashamed of other people working for you. That's tough. That's tough. It puts Senshi in a really difficult position as a young man, and I can empathize with him. I can really empathize with him. Feeling first distinct from everybody else, separated because he doesn't have that dwarfy attitude, but then being so young and being told that he shouldn't take part in things and then watching his party die and fall apart and hate each other over him. I mean, it's like parents fighting in the other room over how much they're spending on your schooling or something like that. And if they're having that conversation in private, that's one thing, but if you're a kid in bed supposed to be asleep and you're overhearing your parents basically complaining about how much they have to spend on you, that's gonna be like deep rooted shame, and that sucks, man. Fucking really sucks. So that the switchy swap is really interesting, and I wonder how long we're gonna play with it. There's no inclination that we have an opportunity to fix this, and maybe we'll have to meet the lion. The fallen kingdom exists. It's pure gold. Hey, shouldn't we be more prepared before we go into something crazy like this? If we want to explore, we should be better prepared. And this is the attitude of our party now with Laios and Senshi and everybody. It's about the preparation. It's about coming in with the right tools and the right attitude and the right everything. But here to his party, it just looks like cowardice, doesn't it? Oh yeah, you don't really care enough about treasure. You're not really a real dwarf, are you? Stop talking nonsense. You sure you're one of us? And then even the kind one, don't push yourself, man, which is kind, right? It's like, hey, you don't have to force it if you're not ready for this, but it's also kind of condescending and puts you in a place that's like, actually, our expectations of you are bottom floor. We don't have any expectations for you. The others will make fun of you. I don't mind that you're useless. It's okay, buddy. It's okay to be useless. And it just feels patronizing and condescending, doesn't it? Even though it's from a place of kindness, like we meet and we understand this character later, and he's like genuinely trying to look out for the young boy who Senshi is at 36, right? But from Senshi's perspective, this just piles on. If I were in Senshi's place, this would just pile on. Like I'd be able to read that there's kindness intended in it, but I would hate it. I would hate it. Be like, don't look at me like that. I'm just as capable as anyone else. Even if I wasn't, it would like make me want to act like I was, like to pretend, to prove myself, yeah? That's really dangerous. I want gold too! I was terrified of being left behind, so I lied. Finds himself surrounded in the space. Many were ambitious from the start, but once we found this, their eyes began to gleam in the dark. Man, dwarves delving too deep. It's up, yeah. Then suddenly it began. Scream We turn, and he's slashed across the back by a monster. A giant bird monster, and took out Totan. This is a dungeon. But we were already lost. What if we've been trapped? Don't worry, man. Let's keep our cool and hunt for that exit. I think we can see some of the attitude of this red-haired dwarf, like, being passed down almost like father and son, even though I don't think they're actually related, to Senshi. This keeping cool attitude. But at the same time, Senshi's his own person, and he's this nervous little kid. It's so interesting because the Senshi that we've met has spent so many years living alone and has become so competent and knows so many things. Like, he's brusque, he doesn't talk that much, but that not talking reads as stoicism. It doesn't read as, like, the result of an adult who grew out of a frightened child who never became really unfrightened. Wow. All of Senshi's character really clicks. We roamed, and curiously, every time we needed something, something appeared. This is something that I want to highlight a little bit because it comes up a little bit later. The things that you're searching for, you end up finding. And then there's something a bit later with Laios and searching for the end of the dungeon and the lion and stuff, that felt like a strange take on this, and I want to focus in on that when we get to it. Maybe we won't stop here to focus on this, maybe later. What's up with this giant, gorgeous woman in the shadows? Like, she's built to be a sexy dwarf lady, and hot damn. What is this? She really reminds me of, in the OP, there's, like, the sort of, I guess, dryad figure is what we took it as. In a very similar pose. I wonder what this is. Like, not sirens or kelpies or any of those things. This is something different. Food ran out, and so we instill in Senshi this importance of food. It starts here. We must find something to eat, even if it means fighting the monsters. You stay put and work on mapping out this area. And so Senshi is left behind, alone, helpless, and he just gets to wait. It's like waiting for, like, a bingo ball, you know? You're just sitting there waiting and waiting for somebody to come back dead. Who's it gonna be? Ugh, drawing lots every time. Bird monster showed up, another is dead. Boom. I'll join you, I'll come with. No. And this time it's even worse. It's not, no, you have to stay safe. It's, no, you'll slow us down. But I think that he's probably trying to protect him, even by saying this. But it's brutal. It's brutal. We've found food, have this, and there's like a shoving it into his face. And now he has to eat, and the shame seeps in even further, because now you're eating what they've gone and died to get, and they're not eating it, and you're not contributing. It sucks. It sucks. If you've ever been in a situation where you're not capable of contributing to, like, a household or to the survival of a unit, and somebody else is picking up your slack, it feels really bad. It feels really bad. I've met people who can do it and act shameless about it, but I have to wonder whether that's a like an M&M candy coating over the shame that you really do feel for that. Because every time I've been in that circumstance, I feel really ashamed. And maybe that's because of how I was raised. Like, maybe that's some flaws in the way that I was parented. I'm not sure. I think that it's totally reasonable and normal to have periods in your life where you're not capable of, like, basically surviving on your own. And working through those can be really tough, and it's amazing that there might be people around you who are willing and able to help you. And I don't think that being ashamed of being in that space helps. It's not a helpful place to be, because it just locks you down. But yeah, every time I've been in a circumstance like that, it has eaten me up to the point that, like, I've had to convert the shame into guilt, which is like the healthier version, and then use that as motivation to right myself, to, like, to get back to a state of some degree of self-sufficiency and some degree of like being able to take pride in taking care of myself and like, but damn, if I was in Senshi's position, like, what can you do, man? What you can do is offer to go with them, but if they refuse, what can you do? Insist? I guess. Our daily hunt for food became the survival thing, more urgent than finding the exit. No longer are we even trying to get out of here. We're just trying to survive in this rat race, and that bird chasing us and chasing us continuously. Finally, with nothing else to eat, we killed our horse. Poor Anne. There's no mistaking it, it's a griffin. They can't figure out why. They just have to imagine that it's coming after them to kill for the thrill. Ah, don't worry, we'll roast it whole and feast on it. Be grateful to Anne and eat up. But our third remaining member is not having it. What's up with you giving good portions to him? As grown-ups, it's our duty to take care of him. So there's this, like, paternal piety. Yeah, we have a legal situation that's called filial piety, which is where children have to take care of their parents. But this is like paternal piety. It's like this is what we're supposed to do. This is what being an adult means. It's to pass things on to the future, to protect and safeguard them. And if we lose that, it's over for us. And I think this is awesome. This is one of my favorite, like, simple idea threads, simple orient yourself properly in the world ideas. You're a human being. You're part of a human society. The only way a human society works is if children grow up. And if children grow up healthy, the society grows healthy. And if children don't grow up healthy, the society becomes unhealthy. Period. If you take actions that harm children, that's evil for that reason. It's like the simplest road that I have to like a direct, totally godless, totally assumptionless morality around the treatment of children. I think it's fundamental to the continuation of a society. So if you believe that existence as human beings is good, and I happen to believe that being is good, then there is at least a duty to not harm children, at the very least. And if you bring a child into this world, you damn better well take care of him. That's my thought. So I really like this from his dwarf sort of father figure. As grown-ups, it's our duty to take care of him. It reminds me immensely of something that's been brought up in Dandadan by this grandmother character who's been very altruistic, very helpful to a lot of people. And she has presented to another character this idea that she feels bound by a duty to help the children, to assist them in whatever way she can. I like it. I think it's an oddly easy formulation of an idea to miss, to like glaze over, and I think without it, it's hard to come up with like really solid justifications for not harming other people. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but like philosophically airtight. But I think within the context of a civilization, within the context of you're a human being and they're human beings, and all around you are other human beings, how do you act in relation to them? I think there is a clear, direct, instant line to, if you want to better the civilization, take care of children and don't harm them. So I really like this. I really like it. We can't afford to do that because we're going to die if we keep taking care of him, man. But so be it, right? Like, I know that we're in a microcosm, and so the rules are a little bit different because it's just us three. We're not repopulating dwarf civilization or whatnot. We can't afford to do that as the line. We can't afford to sacrifice for this kid. We can't afford not to. We absolutely cannot afford not to. It's over for us when we can't look after the next generation anymore. And Senshi heard all of that. Becoming gaunt. Maybe I could munch on rocks. Ah! And then they start arguing. Let's discuss outside. How many times do I have to tell you, shut up? Scuffling and screams. And a big scream. No bird sounds. Then silence. Then he returns. Stay put. Don't look outside. We were attacked. And it reads as a lie. This is very clever. Because even in the aftermath, well, no, having eaten the meat, unless hippogriffs taste just like humans, having eaten the meat, it's not brigand blood and meat, is it? But there's still no proof. A dent, like a blunt object. I was thinking like a hammer or something that the other guy had. Let's eat the griffin. We could survive a few more days. So he brings meat, and Senshi's haunted because in his mind, he thinks it is the other guy, and he eats it anyway. Desperation. Real hunger. I'm thinking back to a time when I was really hungry. I don't think I ever got this far, or anywhere near it. But as I slipped out of being myself fully and into being a creature driven more by the lower portions of the brain, you don't have the calories to run good processing, to think clearly. You really revert down more animalistic. I know that my moral frameworks dissolved, my ethical beliefs and self-control began to dissolve as I got hungry. This was a time when I wasn't fasting or doing this with intent. I just didn't have access to food. It was really scary. I know in that period of time that I would have broken laws, that I would have stolen, that I would have, gosh, if I had known that a neighbor's house had like an open door and an open fridge, I would have gone for it. I didn't have to. I ended up finding some options and I ended up out of that circumstance, but it tasted awful, but I ate it all, taking my time. Gillen said he needed to relieve himself. I think he feels like he's passing out. I think he's got a clonk to his head and he's dying. He's just in the slow roll of brain damage hitting and the bleeding out. But I don't know. He never returned. No courage to peek outside, unable to leave the room. This feels really relatable to me, too. Too scared to leave. Too scared to look outside. It's been a long time, but I've had a couple of periods where I've isolated myself so long and for so and so severely that I felt scared of going out. But I've never had it brew up into true agoraphobia or anything like that. And that was a long time ago. I'm in a much mentally healthier place and have been for a good long time. But this feeling of being trapped and unable to leave, of wanting to go out and wanting to knowing that there's something out there, that there's any possibility of freedom is outside of this space, but feeling unable to go. Man, they nailed some emotional beats for Senshi throughout this. Survived, poured on maps, took up the shield, found no bodies, just the pot shield and the helmet. Captured by orcs, held in their settlement, met them, learned from them, became friends with them, and eventually made it back to the surface, but then emerging into all the bright lights, where do you go? There's no home for you. You can return to your village and tell them what happened to everybody else. that you ate them, because that's what you believe happened. So I lived near the dungeon or in its upper levels, and eventually it all connected, and eventually he connected to them. What weighed on my mind for all these years is whether I ate a friend. No other monster. I'm afraid of discovering the truth. So let's eat one. It's very kind of pat. It like doesn't take the emotional circumstance into account, but it's the right answer, isn't it? I love this. Okay, there's a field of therapy called ERP, which is exposure and response prevention, and it is the frontline treatment for all sorts of phobias, fears, and self-limiting beliefs and things like that. I'm gonna make sure that I don't. Okay, I just wanted to look it up and make sure that I didn't get it completely wrong. Anytime I talk about like science and psychology stuff, I want to make sure that I'm not totally getting it wrong because these things are important. ERP is exposure and response prevention. It is a cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, and it is the frontline treatment for obsessive compulsive disorder, as well as a range of body dysmorphic disorders and phobias and anxiety disorders. But frontline treatment is OCD, which comes in because something triggers a response, and then the response that somebody with OCD goes through is some kind of ritual to make that response die down. So the fear might be that if I leave the house, the stove will be on, and so I have to go and turn the stove on and off and on and off 7 times, and if I do that 7 times, then the stove won't be on anymore, and I can go about my day and everything will be fine. So ERP will expose you to the trigger, leaving the house, or like the stove maybe being on or something like that, and then work on preventing the response, being aware of your need to respond in that way, to do the ritual, to do the thing, to respond to the thing, and instead taking it in with the lowest level trigger possible and allowing that to just happen. To just happen without you responding to it in the way that you feel like you absolutely have to do something right now. And literally doing that over and over with accelerating triggers, like bigger and bigger triggers, bigger and bigger fears, bigger and bigger, like you're further away from the stove now, you actually leave the house now, but you're with a trusted person and you've got a webcam on pointed at the stove, okay? And we can look at the stove and we can see that it's not on from outside. It's okay, right? Okay, now let's go have a coffee at a coffee shop, and then we'll come back and we'll look at the stove and your house won't have burned down. And over time, we can retrain that terror in you that links X activity with Y outcome to not be that way anymore. In this case, it's like directly on a fear. And with fears, it's the same thing, right? Because there's an internal world where something insane happens. So if you're afraid of elevators, we're going to go and we're going to look from all the way across the building. We're going to look at the doors to the elevator, and we're just going to sit here and we're going to watch people get on the elevator, and we're going to watch people get off the elevator. We're going to do that for a day. And then a few days later, we're going to go and we're going to go a little bit closer to the elevator. And we're going to keep doing the exact same thing, right? Up until the point that we're on the elevator and it's not on, it's not going anywhere. We step into the elevator and we step out of the elevator and it's fine. You get it, right? You understand how this makes sense. It makes perfect sense. It's crystal clear, and it is like practically the most effective form of therapy that we have for all sorts of disorders and all sorts of terrifying things that people really go through and need help with and don't know how to be helped for it. That's how you help with it, is you expose yourself to the thing that scares the shit out of you with all the support that you need, with the willingness to step away from it if it becomes too much, to recognize when it becomes too much, and to slowly expand the boundaries of what's not too much, what you can actually take and handle a little bit by little bit by little bit. This is a little bit different, I suppose, but facing your fear down is the core of the thing, and this is facing that fear down. The thing that's holding Senshi in thrall is not that he might have done the thing, it's the not knowing. Even if what we end up doing is proving to him that he ate his homie, right? You can at least, it's weird to say, you can at least stomach that. You can at least understand it. You can at least appreciate the sacrifice that was made in the same way that you were grateful to Anne, right? But maybe we prove that it wasn't a homie at all, and then we win. then everything's fine. But we're not going to get there unless we prove it. Here's what it is kind of with the ERP. We're going to prove to the elevator afraid person that the elevator doesn't explode when they get on it. Yeah? And like maybe the elevator is going to explode when they get on it. There is a non-zero chance of every elevator in the entire world. Sorry if you're terrified of elevators, by the way, this is not going to help. There's a non-zero chance that a meteor is going to fall from the sky and drop directly onto the elevator that you're standing in, and it's going to explode. It's not a zero chance. It's possible. Probably not going to happen. In this case, it's like a total coin flip, 50-50. But we still really don't have a choice but to face it down. We can keep running away from it, and then it stays forever. But if we face it down, we can process it. We can deal with it. I like this. I like it a lot. It's awful for him to be haunted by that memory every time he eats for the rest of his life. Yeah. He'll be relieved if it tastes the same, and if it's completely different, at least it won't plague him anymore. And they're all like, no, dude, that's going to plague him even more, but Senshi's with it. You're right. You're absolutely right. All right, let's do it. You just want to eat it. Maybe it was the horse, but not quite. Wasn't the claws. Wasn't a griffin. What could it have been? Maybe it was a different monster, and we see all these winged monstrosities. Mushrooms. And they're the mushrooms that he pointed to just last episode to be like, oh, look, these interesting mushrooms that I've never seen before. Senshi does his own prep, and it looks totally different. It is totally different. It's like chicken meat. What I ate back then must have been... It's fine. A weight has been lifted. So I think this is really interesting. I love Marcile's pose here. She's like turned slightly away just because of the way that she's sitting, which gives me the impression that she's like uncomfortable with this, but then her upper body is turned towards. So she's like uncomfortable with it, but then the way I take it is like consciously trying to stay engaged with Senshi because she cares about him. Like she's sacrificing her own discomfort in order to engage with somebody that she cares about. I think that's powerful. Even if it's just like the framing of a thing, and I don't even know if it's intentional, I think that's really powerful. A weight has been lifted. Gillen must have wanted me to survive no matter what. I'll carry on with that wish. What have you done, you asshole? Very gamey, terrible aftertaste. Ha! He didn't eat griffin meat. But it wasn't human meat either. It was a hippogriff. Okay, so Laios and his monster knowledge helps pull this together and figure it out. But I wonder how he knows. And I had an inclination that he might just be making this up to please Senshi, to like make him feel better. But he's not. He's not. Horse parts. The dent in the helmet. Huh. Hind legs with hooves. What you had that day was a hippogriff. Thank you, Laios. But there's no way to know that that's what a hippogriff tastes like. So I appreciate the attempt, bro, but I don't really know. Well, let's find out. So how so he is it that this thing is initially a hippogriff and has been transmogrified into a griffin by the fairy circle? I think that's the idea. Why didn't we notice them? The presence of an accomplice. Changelings. I love the changeling backstory. I think it's really cool. I was kind of really hoping that there would be actual changelings that would mess with us. And I wonder if there are like changeling versions of us now that we've stepped through the fairy circle. We've all been transformed into different races. But if there's another group of us out there somewhere that are changelings and pretending to be us, that would be a real wrinkle. The griffin seized Senshi but didn't eat him. It kicked backward like a horse to kill the familiar. It's likely that the griffin we fought was actually a hippogriff. So, we use changeling to turn it back into the meat that it's supposed to be, which I guess does prove that the fairy circle would turn you back if you stepped back through it, I suppose. It does look fucking delicious. And it is the meat that Senshi tasted all those years ago. I've been wanting to taste this again for a long time. Tastes like the care that people had for him. And I guess it might have been fucking delicious, right? It might have been... Well, he said it was pretty gamey and weird. It tastes like them. He's able to connect to that 36-year-old kid who wasn't able to be there with his party, you know? And now he is there with his party, and they're there for him. He lost a family, and now he's finally found a family. This dungeon responds strongly to a person's desires. It's accommodating to those who don't seek anything from it, but the moment you desire something, it shows its fangs. From now on, you'll be searching for quite a bit more than you were. Fallen. And man, did it bear its fangs when we went after Fallen. The Mad Mage, the Lion, the response will become even more severe. Still, there are many things I want to teach you. Will you take me with you? It's like we're back. I want gold too. Take me with you. Or a little later when he says, I want to come on the next hunt. Take me with you. And they say, no. Now we get to go back there. He gets to ask that question to this new family, and they respond, yes, of course, you're one of us. Of course. And then they walk through the damn fairy circle and don't even notice it. You fools! I think the transformation is great. They all look great. They all look like wonderfully exactly like the types of races that they're supposed to be. Senshi glimmering like a shoujo is insane. Big Chill Chuck, insane. The whole thing is absurd. I like it. And I really like the little bits that connect them into each other. Like Chill Chuck looking down at people and feeling like his senses are dulled, but then being kind of calm because of it, kind of indicates to me maybe why Chill Chuck is so anxious, right? Like so like on like a little bit electrified. Maybe he's anxious all the time because he hears everything and senses everything and prey animal style. Now he can kind of chill out because he's just a big dude. Oh, and less magic power from our seal. Of respect for dwarves and their strength. And surprise of surprises, we don't get up out of here now that that's what we desire. We go down further and deeper and find ourselves at the door. Our goal. No way to open it. And a way reveals itself, kind of the way that the dungeon. Oh, it's so strange. Gives you what you need sometimes. The deepest point. So somebody set up camp here. I wonder what's up with that. I wonder who that could have been. I doubt they ventured beyond this door. So why don't we just stay like we are? We'll keep going. Let's just press forward. Arrgh. The door won't open, but Kensuke, like, he's built for this. It was a lion-headed figure that he grabbed that sword from. The sword ends up being the key. That sure is strange, isn't it? Is that the intended key? Oh, wow, I don't know. And then gargoyles. The gargoyles attack, they force us to run. And we sort of find everybody still acting like they're still themselves, not aware of the limitations of their new bodies. Or the capacities of their new bodies. Like, Chiltrek's a big fighter now. He's a big dude. He's not just, I'll just stay in the back and stay in the corner. And he's Itsumi being all, oh, it's too heavy. So we're left with only one option, to flee deeper and close the door behind us. I don't even know if we can open it from this side. Even if we can, there are gargoyles on the other side. We can't fight them. We have no way to transform back, and we're in an entirely new section of the dungeon. One that none of us have ever explored. One that is dwarven automation and steampunk machinery and stuff. Fucking cool. Self-reflection and hunger. Lovely, making beautiful dumplings. I love that there are a bunch with fur in them because Izumi can't make them properly without getting her fur in them. Also, I love Izutsumi's kobold self with the big cat ears. It's really silly and cute looking. It's got kind of like a, it reminds me of the wife in Fantastic Mr. Fox, just the mouth shape. Oh, it's fucking cute. Everybody has their own different ways of cooking dumplings, and yet they all taste delicious. Some things have changed, and yet we're still ourselves. And then the like different ways of doing things all sort of aligns in again when we talk about the defensive stronghold built by dwarves and then elves that fought over it, and this dungeon being an intersection of all sorts of peoples, and then all the conflicts that might emerge from that when they could just enjoy each other's dumplings. Yeah. Didn't you learn about it in school? Interesting. Maybe not. Maybe it's faded out of history, you know? Maybe it is no longer part of the classic curriculum. But I don't know. Or maybe only the elves and dwarves teach about it. I imagine we're going to have a lot of conflicts. Oh yeah, well, you can do something about it, right? Your mom worked at the court, right? Well, maybe Senshi can do it. Everybody agrees and we end the episode there. What was the thing that I wanted to look at later? I've totally forgotten. I thought it was something to do with Marseille. But now I've totally forgotten. That's okay. Marseille has limited magic. That's a little scary. There's no way for us to get those fairy circle stuff done. The author has to contrive something. Or maybe they had this planned, right? Like maybe it's not exactly a contrivance, but essentially a new factor needs to come into play in order to get them mixed upified. Huh? Huh? Okay. In part, this is sort of exactly what I expected from the episode in terms of digging deep into Senshi's backstory, and yet the actual elements of that were not exactly what I expected, but they line up perfectly. I think that Senshi's whole story makes a lot of sense to me, and I'm so glad that there is a group of people around him who are willing to welcome him with open arms and, like, play through that scene differently, play through his rejection in a way that actually leads to his acceptance, and then help him discover the truth, discover that a piece, at least one fraction of the terrible circumstance that he was in and the shame that he's been carrying about it isn't founded in anything real, that he didn't eat one of his friends to survive. I think it's kind of beautiful. It's a scary episode internally and psychologically, but I think it's beautiful how these people all, as friends, as almost a family, stand up to help Senshi and like stay strong as a group through hardship and transformation and a battle and all sorts of things. Our team really feels solid. Minus Izutsume. Izutsume doesn't really care about the whole Senshi thing for the most part here, but she's getting there. She's growing into it. Okay. I think this was another solid episode of Dungeon Meshi, and I'm really glad to know more about our fuzzy bearded dwarfy boy, where he came from and sort of where he might want to go next. Thanks for watching this episode with me. I hope you enjoyed. I hope to catch you next week for the final episode of Dungeon Meshi. Sad day of sad days, but we'll take it as it comes. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time for more. Much love. Peace.